You can see my screen. Audio and video is clear.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Om Ajnanatimidandhasya Jnananjana-shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayyam Dadadi Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavam Cha Shri Rupam Sagrajhatam Saghana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padhan Saghana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitam Cha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vansha Kalpatarubhyasya Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Narayanam Namaskrityam Naran Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jaya Mudirayet Ashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavate Ruttama Shloke Bhakti Bhavati Naishtaki. Hare Krishna, once again welcome all the devotees for today's Bhagavatam. So we are currently reading the Prahlad Maharaj teachings. So the 6th chapter is over. Now we are going to start the 7th chapter. This chapter is also Prahlad is teaching to his classmates further instructions. Okay, can some of you recollect any points from our last class discussion? Any important points you have noted down? Can you please
Yes.
share?
I will tell Prabhuji. So Prahlad Maharaji explains the values of the devotional service of your devotee. So where you don't have to ask anything with the Lord, with Krishna. So he himself will, if he is impressed by your devotion, he will only give. And
Yes, very nice.
bhakti should be our goal, not moksha. So the moksha will happen automatically if you have bhakti.
Yeah, very nice. Thank you, Sushma Mataji. Very nice point. Anyone else would like to share?
Hare Krishna.
Yeah.
Bhakti is higher than kama, artha, dharma, and moksha,
Yes.
as they are all centered on the body, and one must transcend from all these three. As bhakti gives everlasting happiness and brings all perfection automatically.
Yeah, correct. We don't have to ask for Krishna, Dharma, Artha, Kama, and Moksha. Is automatically taken care if one performs devotional service to Krishna. Yes, that's a very nice point. Thank you, Mataji, Lita Mataji, Hare Krishna. Anyone else would like to share?
Hare
Yes,
Krishna Prabhuji.
Mataji.
We also saw that Narayana is the original teacher. We have to please the Guru and then gain the knowledge.
Yeah.
We also saw about how Narada Muni was the Guru
Correct, correct.
of
Thank you.
Prahlad Maharaj.
Yeah. So Krishna is the source. He is the original Adi Guru who has given instruction to Brahma, Brahma to Narada, Narada. He has given instructions to the chain of deceptive succession. Yeah. Yeah, like Prahlad Maharaj, now what we are reading, he has instructed Prahlad. So we discussed around 4 slokas, 26. Yeah, predominantly we were talking about Dharma, Artha and Kama. Because why Prahlad is talking about all this Dharma, Artha, Kama is because of the reason is that anyone who was born in this material world, we are all after this Dharma, Artha, Kama and Moksha only. Following religious duty, working hard for economic development and trying to fulfill all our material desires, that is Kama, and ultimately liberation. But Krishna consciousness or Prahlad Maharaj is teaching something higher than even the moksha. What is that? That is the pure love for Krishna. So when you do pure devotional service to Krishna, then all this becomes secondary. There is no need to separately make efforts to attain all these things because bhakti is superior to all these things. Right. So these things, dharma, artha, kama, moksha, are all material because these are pertaining to this material body. Of course, when we are in this material world, we have to do our occupational duty. And if we are a grahastha, we have to do our duty to earn money. And also we have this material body with all the senses. So certainly we have to some extent, fulfill our, satisfy our senses. But all these things are taken care while a devotee is engaged in devotional service. But he does not make it as an ultimate goal. That is a problem. So in current society, everything is geared upon how to improve our economical situation. That is the goal. But a devotee also does all these things, but his goal is not economical development. His goal is to attain Krishna. That is his goal. So there is a great difference between ordinary person and a pure devotee. That's what Prahlad is teaching here. He is teaching all the demons. Don't make your goal as your material prosperity, but make Krishna as the ultimate goal. Yeah. So we see all these things. So bhakti, we have to understand, it is completely transcendental to all these things. Three varga. So when we achieve pure devotional service, when you are rendering, then automatically you feel the satisfaction. So surrender to Vishnu is the highest goal should be in our life. Yeah, we see the analogy that most people are interested in only taking care of the material body, the bird in the cage, right? Polishing the cage without taking care of the bird, then the bird will suffer. Yeah, the purpose of following Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha is to come to the highest ladder, that is Krishna Bhakti. Yeah. Okay, so we saw all these things. Now we finished with 28 sloka in last class. Now we'll talk, go to the next chapter. Yeah. So someone like to read the sloka and translation? Someone can try.
Translations here. Sloka, where is the sloka, Prabhuji?
Is there? No, you're not able to see the sloka?
No.
Sri
Only
Prahlad Uvacha.
Oh. Shall try, Prabhuji? Sri
Yeah, please.
Prahlad Vacha Pitari Prastite
Asmakam
Asmakam Tapase Mandarat Chalam
Chalam
Yudodyamam Param
Param
Chakru
Shakru.
Vibhuda Danavan Prati. Translation. Prahlad Maharaja said, when our father Hiranyakashipu went to Mandrachala mountain to execute severe austerities, in his absence, the demigods, headed by King Indra, made a severe attempt to subdue all the demons in warfare. Hare Krishna.
So what happened is that after the Prahlad's friends, school friends, when they all heard from Prahlad, they were saying that actually none of us taught what we are teaching now. This is the first time we are hearing. And you are also our age. And how did you have come? How did you get this knowledge? So Prahlada is giving his background, how he got this knowledge. So that he is saying that Hiranyakashipu, his father, when he went to Mandarachala mountain to perform great austerities, to get a boon from Brahma so that he can become immortal. So at that time, Indra, he came to know Hiranyakashipu is not ruling. So he wanted to take advantage of the situation. So he marched and tried to attack all the demons so that they can get back their kingdom. So that was the idea. Hiranyakashipu is gone for doing tapasya for a very long time. And what happened then? The third sloka. Can someone read? Please try. You can try. Yeah.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah.
We are scared, so like if we read it wrong, then it will be.
No problem. No problem.
Okay.
I will.
Okay, Prabhu. Piplikair ahiriva dishtya loko patapana papena papo
Abhakshiti.
abhakshiti vadanto
Vasava.
vasava deya.
Vasavadaya.
Deha. A translation is, alas, as a serpent is eaten by small ants, so the troublesome Hiranyakashipu, who always inflicted miseries upon all types of people, has now been defeated by the reactions of his own sinful activities. Saying this, the demigods, headed by King Indra, arranged to fight the demons. Hare Krishna.
Yeah. So Hiranyakashipu, Indra thought that Hiranyakashipu is finished. He will not come for a long time. He has gone to do tapasya. So now what they all wanted to take advantage of the situation and they attacked the demons. Okay. So Prabhupada writes in the purport that so when they all attacked, what happens? All the demons, they started fleeing away on all direction to protect their lives. So, and then actually the demigods, they become victorious. Earlier, because of Hiranyakashipu's protection, the demons could not be defeated. So Indra, what he did, he arrested Hiranyakashipu's wife, Kayadu. Yeah, so we'll see. Yeah, can someone write this sloka? So at that time, Narada Muni came, and what happened here?
Hare Krishna Prabhu, I'll try.
Yeah, please.
Prahanainam surapate netum arhasi anagasam muncha mahabhaga satim paraparigraham.
Yeah, continue.
Narada Muni said, O Indra, king of the demigods, this woman is certainly sinless. You should not drag her off in this merciless way. O greatly fortunate one, this chaste woman is the wife of another. You must immediately release her.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna.
Now what happened? Narada Muni came into the picture. So he told Indra that Kayadu is a very pious lady. She is sinless. So therefore, you should not take Kayadu. But then King Indra said, because this woman, she is wife of Hiranyakashipu and she is pregnant now. She is carrying the seed of the great demon. Therefore, if we leave her to give birth to this child, then another Hiranyakashipu will come, right? So therefore, Indra said that I wanted to take her off. And the reason is that Indra does not want another demon like Hiranyakashipu to be born. So he wanted to kill the child. And then he wanted to release Kayadu. But then Narada Muni replied, he said that this woman's womb is faultless and sinless. In fact, the child is a great devotee and he is a great servant of Krishna. Therefore, actually, you will not be able to kill him at all. So Prabhupada in this purport, Prabhupada describes that in previously also there are many attempts to kill the devotees. Krishna promises in Bhagavad Gita 9.31, Kaunteya pratijanahi name bhakta pranashyati. The devotee is always protected by Krishna. Can anyone recollect any other devotee who was protected in the womb Krishna saved?
Parikshit Maharaj.
Uttara. Yeah.
Correct. Uttara was carrying Parikshit, and that time what happened? Ashwatthama sent Brahmastra to kill the last heir of the Pandava dynasty. So then what happened? Uttara, she went to Krishna, Pahi Pahi Mahayogin Deva Deva Jagatpate. So she went immediately and pleaded to Krishna to protect. So Krishna sent his Brahmastra, he took his Sudarshan Chakra and then protected Uttara's womb where Parikshit Maharaj was about to born. So that's why Krishna is also saying that Kaunteya Pratidhanehi Name Bhakta Pranashati, that my devotee will be protected always. So here also we see here, although Prahlad he's in a helpless stage in the womb of his mother, but Krishna protected by sending Narada Muni. So Narada Muni informed Indra that don't worry, the child which is about to born from Hiranyakashipu's son is not a demon. He is a great devotee. It's a Prahlad. So you cannot kill him anyway. So what I will do, that's what we are going to see. So Narada Muni then said, so then Indra respected Narada Muni's words and immediately he released Prahlad's mother. And then in fact, all of them understood that she is not an ordinary woman. So they all circulated Kayadu and then they went back to their heavenly kingdom. So they respected Narada Muni words. So this is the difference between the demons and the devatas. The devatas, like Indra, they are also after material enjoyment, but the thing is that they accept Lord Vishnu. They try to execute the order of Vishnu. So therefore here, Narada Muni, Indra accepted the words of Narada Muni. So this is called understanding by the parampara system. Prabhupada writes in the purport. So Indra and the demigod, they don't know that a great devotee was in the womb of Kayadu. But as soon as they heard from Narada Muni, immediately they accepted. So this is how we have to accept the words of great devotees. So we don't have to do any research work. So that's why like Prahlad Maharaj's teachings, if we simply accept their teachings, then it will be beneficial for all of us. Yeah. So then what happens? Narada Muni, he brought Kayadu to his ashram and he assured Kayadu, don't worry, I am protecting you completely. Under my protection, you will be safe. You can be here until your husband comes back after the austerity. So Kayadu was completely under the shelter of Narada Muni. So Prahlad said when he and then what happens? So Narada Muni started giving instructions to Kayadu, and Prahlad was in the womb and he was continuously hearing these instructions given to his mother. Because the child can also hear from, even though it is in the womb of the mother. And Narada Muni is a Devarishi, he is a Trikala Jnani. So he gave he described about the glories of Lord Krishna, and and Prahlad was so fortunate to hear from the womb. So this is a system actually in our system, Vedic system is that whenever actually everyone is supposed to hear every day about the glories of Lord Krishna, what happened, and especially those who are carrying mothers, they should hear regularly. What happens is that when they hear, automatically child also will get this transcendental knowledge, and that's how Prahlad became a great devotee. Otherwise, how is this possible? Because the child in the womb, what he knows, the child in the womb is in a very precarious condition. Actually, it is so tightly packed, and it is a very not a very suitable place for any child to stay for a long time. In fact, the description is there in the third canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, how the child undergoes all kinds of difficult situation. But Prahlad's condition was completely different. Although he was in the womb, and actually Hiranyakashipu went for a very very long time, and Kayadu also was carrying Prahlad for a very very long time. It's not only 9 months. He was in the womb for a very very long time because she wanted to give birth to child only after Hiranyakashipu finished his penance. Till that time, she wanted to be in the protection of Narada Muni. And Narada Muni was giving all kinds of instructions and about especially glorifying the Supreme Lord. And then Prahlad said that, and I was hearing continuously, and I remembered everything, whatever Narada Muni told. But because my mother, because of the long passage of time, she forgot. But I could not forget them. I could recollect everything what Narada Muni said. So therefore it is described that one should every day hear Srimad Bhagavatam, especially mothers who are carrying the child in the womb. If they continuously hear about Krishna Katha, the child will be born as a great devotee. Here is a complete proof for that one. That's why our whole system, Vedic system, is such that it is everything is based on focus on devotional service to hear about Krishna. So nowadays, if the child, in many families, many parents, they are all very much worried in the sense that the child they born, they wish the child born, but then they do not know what actually how as a good child how to get a good child. Here is a instructions here. If the child continuously hear about Krishna when in the womb, then the child will born as a great devotee of the Lord. So that's a here Prahlad, although he was got a very child body because of the consciousness. That's why hearing is very, very important. What we hear is very important. That's why nowadays people are very, very because of materialistic consciousness. In fact, in the third kind of Srimad Bhagavatam, the child has what mother they have to supposed to do. Everything is described. The mother is supposed to eat only sattvic food, and by repeatedly hearing about Krishna Katha, then the mother will be in a peaceful condition, mind will be in a peaceful condition. This will all help the child to become born in a very sattvic way. And this is very important. If the child is born in a very rajasic and tamasic mood, if the mother is continuously hearing about all these things which is not related to spiritual, then the child will be born in a Rajasic and Tamasic way only. That's why the atmosphere should be in such a way that during these 9 months, as much as possible, the mother should hear and read Srimad Bhagavatam continuously. Then there is every possibility is there. The child will become a great devotee of the Lord. So that is very important. So first of all, the mother should have this knowledge, idea that she needs she should get a good devotee child. So that is the purpose of marriage. Purpose of marriage is what? To beget a Krishna conscious child. That is the purpose of marriage. And there is when the father and mother they try to get a child in a proper spiritual atmosphere, definitely Krishna will bless so that a great devotee will be born. So Prahlad continues. So therefore he is saying to his friends, just place your faith in my words. Although you are all very small children, but now you understand the difference between spirit and matter. So everyone can understand. This is a basic lesson. First lesson, what we need to understand the difference between body, spirit, and matter. The difference between soul and body. If you don't have this understanding, then we cannot progress in spiritual life because all our activities will be on which platform, what we are doing. If one is convinced that I am the spirit soul, I am not this body, then he will engage in spiritual activities. Otherwise, a person who is in the bodily consciousness, for him, engaging in spiritual activities, it doesn't mean anything, make any sense for them. That's why so many people, why they are not engaging in spiritual activities, because they don't know what is the difference between body and soul. What is the need of the spiritual? What is the need of the soul? They don't know that one. So therefore, Prahlad is giving the basic education, trying to remind them about the basic education. What is that? He is giving the analogy of fruits and flowers of the tree, just how it undergoes 6 changes. A small plant comes, and then what happens? And then it grows into a big tree, and then the flowers comes, and then gives the fruits, all right? And then it transformation happens, and then finally it goes a dwindling stage, and finally the tree dies. Same way, our body continuously changing. So we all know that we had a body of a small child, and then a boyhood, childhood to boyhood to youth to adult, and then old age, and then we have to leave our body. But the spirit soul does not change. So if anyone doesn't understand this simple understanding, for them it doesn't make any sense at all. So this is we are seeing in everyday's life. So therefore, we need to understand what is the need of the soul. The soul is changeless, eternal. Only the body is continuously changing. Just like as you see in this, 1 second, I'll show you 2-minute video. 1 second. Just stay on the line. I'm just connecting back. 1 minute. Yeah. You can see the screen now, right? Yeah. Can you see the screen?
Not yet, Prabhuji. Not yet, Prabhuji. No.
Yeah, now?
Yeah, now it's yep. The soul changing bodies. That's it.
Okay. So what did you see now?
The soul can take up different bodies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, you can see this. How these bodies are only, it's like a dress, right? Somebody is having a male body, female body, and different kinds of bodies, but the soul remains same. So this teaching we need to understand. This is the basic teaching one should have. Yeah. So this is how the body changing. We have taken many, many bodies like this. Now we have attained this human body after very, very long time. And now even in this human body, we are seeing so many people are there who have not come to this understanding that we are different from this body. So Prahlad is giving the basic education again to his classmates that to we should come out of this illusory conception that I am this material body, that have this real knowledge that I am not this body, right? So whenever you go and see in front of your mirror, what you are seeing is your external covering. That's all. And you are not that external covering. You are the spirit soul, hmm, which is beyond this material body. So this body is given to us because it is actually because of the desires of the soul. So each soul get a different body according to a desire what we get in our previous births. And therefore we have to come out of this false identification and because of this identification we get into bondage, and because of the bondage we suffer continuously and we get into anxiety. So this is the root cause of all our problem. So that's what Prahlad is trying to teach his classmates. He's going to the root cause of the problem, that don't think that you are all demons. You are all actually the spirit soul, pure Atma. But because you have got this material desires, you get into this body. So this body is just like a prison house, right? Because of the body only we are suffering. All the suffering, we all know that one. How the body gives so much of trouble to us, isn't it? And it is like a prison house. Like in the prison, what happens? A person is put inside a cell where he cannot move freely. Same way, the Jivatma, Atma is put in this body so that he cannot escape freely. He has to undergo all the tribulations. Therefore, that is the cause of the problem. And Prahlad is teaching the same thing here, right? And further, he gives the example that how these coverings are there. So we got this Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, we say, na bhumi rapo nalo vayo kamano buddhir. So these are the 8 coverings the Atma has got. Fire, water, air, ether, mind, intelligence, ego. This is how everyone knows we have got all these things. So the Atma is covered by all these things. And then we have the senses, ears, skin, eyes, tongue, and the nose, right? And then and then we have the speech, hands, feet, all these working senses are there. And all put together, these 24 elements, these are all put together is covering the Atma. And one who doesn't have this spiritual knowledge, he does not know is the real identity as Atma, but he will be always under the platform of these 24 elements. We have to transcend above these 24 elements and come to the platform of Atma. So unless a person is spiritually educated, it's definitely not possible for him to come to the stage of realizing that he is Atma. And these 3 modes, goodness, passion, and ignorance, are covering. And because of this, he is engaged in all kinds of activity of this material world. So the whole spiritual life begin from when we understand this knowledge and then try to apply in our life. And that's what Prahlad is teaching here. So we get this knowledge by the great acharyas. All of them have confirmed this is how the soul is trapped in this material body. So what he is saying by Viveka and Kushala, Viveka Buddhi, then one should purify their existence and search for Atma, spiritual. And that happens by purification process through the of mind. So some people do the analytical study of different process of studying knowledge, getting knowledge. But by engaging in devotional service, one can automatically get this knowledge that he is eternal, distinct, and different from all material things. So this knowledge is very, very important. Unless one get this knowledge, then there is no way one can get out of this suffering of this material world. Hmm. So Prahlad is telling his classmates that how we are in the 3 stages of everyone is in these 3 stages. How the intelligence is perceived in 3 stages of activity like wakefulness, dreaming, and deep sleep. So even though we may be in this, all of us are in this 3 stages, one of these 3 stages. So the waking stage is called Jagrat. And sometimes when you are sleeping, we are getting dreaming, that is Swapna. And dreaming also, we are taking up different kinds of bodies. Sometimes we are going in different places we can experience while dreaming also. And when you deep sleep, it's called Sushupti. At that stage, we don't know anything. So every day when we go to sleep, what happens? We forget our temporary material body, isn't it? We don't know when we are in complete sleep, we don't know where we are sleeping, either in America or India, wherever. Whenever you sleep, you completely forget about your material body. But still, our intelligence is working. The intelligence observes all 3 states but remains unaffected. Uh, And Krishna also, he is also in the roof, in the form of Paramatma with all of us. Ishvara Sarvabhutanam Rideshi Arjuna Tishtati. Krishna is there in each and every Atma along with the Jivatma. So what is Prahlad Maharaj is saying? That he is teaching a profound lesson that the difference between consciousness and the changing experiences of life. So there's 3 states, Jagrat, that is wakefulness, Swapna, dreaming, and Sushupti, deep sleep. The deep sleep is called dreamless sleep. So Prahlad is asking us to carefully analyze. These 3 states are constantly changing. But who is aware of these changes? The Atma. That observer is different from the state themselves. We are the Atma. We know all these three stages. We are now, when we are in the awake stage, we know we are conscious, right? We see the world, we hear sounds, we work, study, speak, and interact. And now we are hearing. So this is called waking state. And then when we sleep, what happens? The physical body lies on the bed. We may see some mountain, or friends, or animals, or we travel to distant places. So that is a dream world. And it looks like real while we are dreaming, isn't it? Suppose a person is dreaming like he's a king. He feels it is real. Actually, but the real dream is not real. It is temporary. But sometimes he actually experience happiness and fear. How many of you have had dreams, and in the dreams you have felt some fear or happiness? You all have experience?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah. So what is that actually? That is a temporary state, right? That's not real. And deep sleep is susupti. In that stage, no external world is perceived. Sometimes we sleep and then we wake up. We don't know what happened during those hours. No dreams also perceived. Mind and senses also become inactive. And then he says that I slept very nicely. So who knew that one? That means the Atma knew all these three stages. Hmm? So what Prahlad is trying to say is try to understand that the observer, that is you are different from the states. The waking state, dream state, and sleep state. But you remain the same. The same person is awake in the morning and is sleeping at night, and in the dream also he is less, right? So he says that I was awake, I had a dream, I slept deeply. So this I remains constant. That constant observe is different from the changing experience. This is what we need. This is how we have to understand that we are different from the body, mind, and intelligence. So Prahlad is saying that gradually is making them to understand the body changes from child to youth to adult to old age, but the person remains the same. Similarly, the mind also changes. Today I am happy, tomorrow I am sad. The next day we are excited. But who remains unchanged? The body, the mind, intelligence, or the observer? Who remains unchanged? The Atma, right?
Yeah.
We, correct. So here we have to remember that here the words mention about the intelligence. Buddher jagranam swapna sushuptir iti vrityah. So these states are functions of intelligence and mind. Just like you see a cloud moves across the sky, thoughts and experience move across consciousness, but the observer is separate. So we need to understand who is the ultimate observer. That is the deepest lesson Prahlad is trying to teach his classmates above by giving this example. He says that one who perceives all this state is the supreme overseer. So therefore, we have to see that, and also Krishna, he is the supreme Lord. He observes everyone. So the Jiva is the localized knower, and Krishna is the knower of all bodies. That is the difference. So we as a spirit soul, we are aware of our body, but Krishna as super soul is aware of all the bodies because he is expanded as Paramatma in everyone's heart. That is the difference between Krishna and us. Mm. So another example is, for example, in a movie theater, on the screen, you will see there are war appears. Sometimes there is some romantic scene. Sometimes there is happiness. Sometimes there is tragedy. But the scenes are constantly changing, right? Similarly, wakefulness appears, dream appears, deep sleep appears, but consciousness remains. And behind everything, there is a supreme consciousness, Krishna. So therefore, what is the reason Prahlad is teaching to his young boys is to make them understand that real education is not merely your economic study, your material education, or it is not politics. Real education begins with self-realization. first we must understand who you really are. When you understand who you are, I am an eternal servant of Krishna, not this body, then the spiritual life begins. So that is why he is making this example and making them to understand. So we have to come out of this wakefulness, dreaming stage and deep sleep stage. Only a spiritually realized person, only one who understand and who's doing devotional service can understand these things, can come to the spiritual platform. That's why this chanting, hearing, and discussion is very, very important. Only by doing these three activities, we can realize that we are not belong to this material body. So if you don't realize these things, we are in a dreaming stage. Means the person who has not understood this teaching, he will be always in a dreaming stage. Dreaming stage means what? Temporary stage. And that's why somebody is thinking, I am the owner, I am the great, I am the king, I am the manager, I am this, I am that. Everything is a dream stage only. Why it is dream? Because the dream will finish. Same way, our state of identity state also will finished as soon as we change our body. Then we don't remember. Like for example, we have seen so many bodies changing, right? Similarly, we have changed so many bodies. Do we remember all those bodies now? Suppose we are for example, you are a king of. Do you remember your previous birth? We don't remember, right? We are not no longer a king. We may be a king in our previous birth, but now we are not the king. Same way, our current position, when it changes to the next body, then we will not remember all our old things. So therefore, this life itself is a temporary dreaming state. But a spiritually realized Atma, he knows that he is an eternal servant of Krishna. Therefore, he will not misidentify, or he knows he will do all the activities. Just like a drama, you may act, but internally you know that you are not this current. So you are not acting as a current character. So same way we should know we may be a mother, father, son, daughter, brother, sister. So many identification we have this in this material world. But all this identification is not the permanent one. It is a temporary. We are acting like in a drama. So once a drama is finished, we have to forget. We will forget all our characters. But our real character is what? We are all servant of Krishna. Therefore, we have to remember always that our eternal identity is that we are all eternal servant of Krishna. So Prahlad is giving another example. As one can understand the presence of air by the aromas it carries, right? Similarly, one can understand the living soul by these three divisions of intelligence: wakefulness, dreaming, and deep sleep. However, we have to understand these divisions are not the soul. So we should not misidentify that I am like Hiranyakashipu. He is thinking that he is the king of all the three planetary system. But that is a dream stage because he cannot remain as the emperor of the three worlds forever. So that's the difference between Prahlad and Hiranyakashipu. So one who has got self-realized person, he knows Prahlad is identifying himself as a servant of God, servant of Krishna. But Hiranyakashipu is identifying himself as emperor of the three world. So this is the difference between a person who is in a material consciousness and a spiritual consciousness. So Krishna explains in Bhagavad Gita 3.42 how the hierarchy is there. So first the dull matter is there, and above the dull matter the senses, above the mind is intelligence, above the fifth, the topmost stage is the soul, right? So we have to come to the platform of soul. So generally people are in the four stage, in the dull matter, senses, mind, and they identify with this four stage only. So therefore we must rise above the platform of matter, senses, mind, intelligence, and soul. So only one who is engaging in devotional service, he can come to that platform. So the path to self-realization is, Krishna says, that we control our senses, steady the mind, purify the intelligence, and realize the soul. So this is the process of Krishna consciousness. That's why the chanting and hearing and discussion is very, very important. Hmm? And then the three modes are acting. Hmm? When the three modes are acting, so that makes them to act just like a puppet. You see the puppet is tied to a small strings and it is activated by somebody else, but you cannot see the strings. Same way, the Sattva Guna and Raja Guna and Tama Guna, they are all invisible ropes which are binding us in this material world. So those who are not those who are under the control of the three modes, Sattva Guna and Raja Guna and Tamo Guna, they will be always in a state of anxiety. They'll be always acting according to the guna they have acquired. But a devotee who is engaged in devotional service, he can only transcend these three modes. So that is possible only for persons who are engaged in devotional service. So Prahlad is teaching that, therefore you should take to Krishna consciousness. By Krishna consciousness only you can destroy the seed of fruity activities. You can overcome these three gunas, sattva guna and raja guna and tamo guna. Then you will realize that I am not this body, I am not the enjoyer, and this is not, nothing belongs to me, and everything. And then you can transcend these three modes. So Prahlad is saying that unless you take to Krishna consciousness, unless you do devotional service, unless you chant Hare Krishna, you are in ignorance. Under ignorance, everyone thinks that I am this body, I am the enjoyer, I am, everything belongs to me, and I hate this. Like this, all these coverings are, this cloud of covering is there for every Atma. Therefore, he cannot act properly. Just like a person who is drunk, he cannot act properly. Same way, the three gunas, sattva, raja, and tamo guna, make the Atma, they are in a drunken situation. Make them, they will act according to the modes they are influenced. So therefore, Prahlad is telling that you chant Hare Krishna, remember Krishna, serve Krishna, and do devotional service to Krishna to overcome. And then you come to the highest platform. So that is the, he is teaching here. So now we have to understand the real problem and the bondage, right? We have to overcome by taking to Krishna consciousness. We have to remember this material life is temporary and suffering comes from ignorance. People think that suffering because of so many reasons, but the main reason is that the disease is because of ignorance. It is not because of what we got. We have got diabetes, we have got hypertension. All this all pertains to body. But unless one is overcome the ignorance, this is a pandemic. This is the invisible disease for all the jivatma because they are all in ignorance, because they don't have any spiritual knowledge. One may be a CEO of a big company, one may be a big director, one may be so and so big things of this material world. But if he doesn't have any basic knowledge of Krishna consciousness or Bhagavad Gita, then he is in complete ignorance. There is no escape for him. Right? Only by doing devotional service, we can overcome this ignorance. We can be a powerful rulers, big politicians. He may have millions of dollars in his bank account, but all these things will not help to overcome the ignorance. Unless a person understands basic knowledge, spiritual knowledge should be there. Therefore, Krishna consciousness burns the seed of fruitive activities. What does it mean? It means that a seed and a tree, when a seed is planted, it is ground, it sprouts, and then it becomes a tree and gives fruits. Similarly, a desire in the heart becomes what? First of all, a desire comes in the heart, and then it becomes thought, and then it becomes like a action, karma, and then it gives reaction and then it gives suffering. But when those who practice Krishna consciousness, they will burn the seed before it grows. So suppose the seed is burned in fire, then the plant cannot sprout, right? Same way that there is no problem because of that desire. Therefore, bhakti is more powerful than karma, jnana, and yoga. So what are these seeds? Prahlad says, the soul by nature is pure, eternal, and full of knowledge. But under the influence of Sattva-guna, Rajoguna, and Tamoguna, what happens is that Rajoguna creates ambition, greed, competition, and Tamoguna creates laziness, violence, delusion. Sattva-guna also creates attachment to goodness. It causes pride because I know so much knowledge. So all these things will generate karma. And as long as there is karma, we have to suffer in this material world. But by Krishna consciousness, by devoting, then we can put full stop for all this karma. That's why we have to chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So, so the Upanishad actually asking us to come to the fourth stage. The fourth stage is called Turiya. That is beyond wakefulness, dream, and deep sleep. That is called spiritual consciousness. And that's what Prahlad is. How he is able to overcome all the difficulties? Because he is always Krishna conscious. Therefore, he is not under the control of the modes. Like Hiranyakashipu, we see he is totally, although he is the emperor of the three worlds, he lost his peacefulness. He was always in anxiety. But Prahlad was completely peaceful condition. And that's the stage we should all come. So we have to slash, Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, the doubts which has arise in your mind has to be slashed with weapon of knowledge. So we get knowledge by repeatedly hearing from Srimad Bhagavatam. By hearing and discussing, by asking questions, we can overcome the ignorance. So there, the same thing Krishna, Prahlad is teaching his schoolmates. He is giving this class to them to make them understand, to come to the real knowledge. So Prahlad is saying, don't wait until old age. Start now. Become a devotee. Start Hare Krishna, chanting Hare Krishna. Eat, take prasadam, and be always in the association of devotees and preach Krishna consciousness. That is the best way. If you start giving this knowledge to others, you will also become strong. So in one sentence, Prahlad is teaching that Krishna consciousness is not merely a religion. It is the cure for ignorance. It is the cure for karma. It is the cure for material bondage. And it is the cure for repeated birth and death. Okay, so we'll stop it here. There's still another 20 more slokas are there in this, 20-25 slokas are there in this, left out in this teaching. So that we will see in our next class. Hare Krishna. So anyone would like to share any comments or any questions? So this subject matter is very, what you say, you have to hear it again and again. It's not one day process. You have to read Bhagavatam and repeatedly you have to try to understand. And by deep analyzing only, you will be able to understand. And by chanting Hare Krishna, you will get that intelligence. Krishna will give you because he is in your heart as Paramatma. So chanting, hearing, and having Krishna Prasadam will help you to overcome all the ignorance. That is the solution. Okay. So just knowledge only is not sufficient. We have to practice it. Realization comes only if practicing. Jnanam vijnanam astikyam. So jnana is knowledge, but vijnana is realized knowledge. Realized knowledge comes when you practice it. Okay? Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, I have a question, Prabhuji.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, Mataji.
Now, this bad actions, I mean, not only in action, even in thoughts, we should not think anything bad, right, or evil. But then here, Lord Indra wanted to kill the child of Hiranyakashipu's wife. But that was a bad thought, right? It's an evil thought.
Yeah, correct. So you cannot avoid thinking, because mind is like a video recorder. Whatever it focus, it will capture. Same way, mind will capture whatever it comes across. But that's why the intelligence is given to all of us. Mind cannot discriminate it is good or bad, but intelligence is given. So when bad thoughts comes, you have to discriminate it is good or bad, and the intelligence should control the mind actually. So when the intelligence is spiritually strong, then you will know this is correct, and although the thoughts come, you will not act accordingly. Here, Indra, as you said, Indra, he had a bad idea in the sense that he thought that Hiranyakashipu's son will be a demon and he will be a competitor for him. So he wanted to take care, for self-protection, he wanted to kill the child actually. But fortunately, he had Narada Muni who gave him the correct advice, and therefore he gave up the idea. So that is why we need in our regular life, we need someone who can guide us, because if we are not, we don't know, sometimes in our life situation we don't know which is correct and which is wrong. That's why we need a guru who can guide us one. Unfortunately for Indra, Narada Muni came and intervened, and therefore he did not act on that one. So in our daily life also, if some bad thoughts comes, we should not act immediately. We should understand our mind is very deceptive. That's why Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, it can act as your friend and it can act as your enemy also, right? Therefore, we have to be very careful with your mind. So do not act immediately. Use your intelligence, spiritual intelligence, or if you are not able to discriminate, we have to take help of senior devotee who can guide us. So to do or not to do a particular activity. So that's very important.
So
Is it
that
okay, Mataji?
that bad thought is a bad karma, but if you rectify using your intelligence, then you're not punished. Is that what I should understand?
No, it's not a bad karma. Unless that action, a thought becomes action, it won't be a karma. And in Kali Yuga,
Okay.
there is no reaction for the thought. Only if you act, you will get a karma. But that does not mean that you just allow your mind to some bad influence. You should protect it actually. But in the previous yugas, even if by thinking, it will get a bad karma. But Kali Yuga, we are in that way, we are safe. That we don't incur any karma for that one, but immediately we should rectify it. That is important.
Yeah, no, I asked in the perspective of Lord Indra only, because that time it was a bad thought, no, for him. So, or devatas were exempted from that.
No, not only devatas.
Hmm.
Not only devatas, we are also will not have any karma if you have any bad thoughts comes, but we should rectify it before it becomes, action. So that's why I said in Kali Yuga, Indra definitely, Indra immediately got rectified because Narada Muni came. Otherwise, it would be a problem for Indra. Definitely. If he had have gone to kill the child, definitely he would have get into complex situation.
Well done.
Now clear,
Swami.
Prabhuji. Thank you.
Yeah. Someone wanted to say something? I heard some Prabhuji's voice. Bhaskaran Prabhu, yeah, you want to say something?
Ji, namaste. I was attending, I am a BJP Karyakarta at local level. So,
Okay.
yep, Mandal level post I am holding.
Okay.
So, I was attending the meeting. I could not fully hear, but still I was hearing everything. I couldn't respond, Ji.
Okay, okay.
We had a
Anyway,
meeting at Mandal level.
okay.
I'm
Anyway,
holding a post in BJP, Ji. So I
okay.
couldn't respond to you. So sorry, Ji. Namaste.
No problem. You can hear once again. The link will be
Sure.
there. The slides will be there.
Certainly.
When you have
I
anything,
heard, but I couldn't respond to you. As I was
yeah, that's okay.
with the earpiece, I was listening, but still I couldn't respond to your questions, and I couldn't read anything. I was hearing everything, but I couldn't read or I couldn't respond everything.
Okay, that's fine. Okay. Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much
Thank
once
you.
again for
Yeah,
attending,
namaste.
giving your
Thank you,
time,
Hare
Namaste.
valuable
Krishna.
time.
Namaste.
Right. Hare Krishna. Srila
Hare
Prabhupada
Krishna.
ki jai, Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnavanda ki jai. Vancha kalpatarubhasya kripa sindhubhyevacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namo.